Hello, future bestsellers. Good day to you. Robert and I were just sitting chatting about the holidays. I love your Christmas tree back there, your little Christmas tree in your office. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So, you were talking about doing something last week and now I can't remember if we talked about it off stream or on stream, but
we talked about it off stream.
have you
So,
finished it?
no, actually, I put a coat of paint on it, and when I put it on top of the tree and corked some lights up in there, the paint was still like see through, and it looked kind of. So
Okay.
I'm actually putting another coat of paint on, and the little star on top of the tree. You can't see the ornaments, but there's like a lot of little Hallmark Star Wars figures on the tree, and I wanted to do like a homemade Death Star tree topper, which I started.
I love this so
This
much. I'm
is
sorry if I spoiled. Hold
progress
on, I'm going
so
to make you big.
and it's got little holes poked in it, so it's going to sit on top of the tree when it's done. It's almost done. It'll be finished probably my next session with it, but this side still needs work.
I love it. I'm so excited. I'm so glad we got to thank you for sharing. And I'm sorry if I outed you on your Death
Okay.
Star tree topper. I love it though. It's so cool. It's going to be awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Devin's here this morning. Hello, good morning or good afternoon. Lainey's here. Hello, Lainey. We're so glad to see you today. I'm here. Uh, Daisy's here. Hello, Daisy. We're super glad to see you. Oh my gosh. Hello, Angel. Glad to see you too. Hello, Blue Garden Cottage. I don't know what that is, but I love all those words. And if you could crowbar beach in there, then that would be just perfect for me. Hello, Mary. I know, right? Isn't that that's awesome? I'm sorry if I outed you before you were ready to talk about
They
it.
actually have a Death Star tree topper, but it's for a big tree. It's a huge thing. It's like $165 or something like that, and it would just topple this little tree over. So I
Right,
decided.
and just knock it over. Well, I love yours. Good morning, Lasanta. I love yours. I always like the things that we sort of make ourselves. Like that always just feels like so much more fun to me. I had when I was a kid a homemade, I don't even know, some sort of cyborg costume that was made out of um, a lampshade, like a round, like old school 60s lampshade that had been
Mm.
paper mache. So it was like you put it on, it was like a giant helmet and it had like a thing here and it had this like light that went like zzz, zzz, zzz. And I don't
So
know, we had
like
like,
the Cylon Raiders from Battlestar Galactica.
yes, yes. And it was just like like neighbor guy, like made the, like some sort of repeating thing where you just put a battery in it and went, zzz. But it was at the time, it wasn't like now where you can get like
Mhm.
crazy elaborate costumes, and certainly by like cosplay standards it was like D minus, but at the time it was pretty cool. And especially at night, I'd be walking around with this big spacesuit on and there was this, but that costume was so popular, like I wore it first and then like every neighbor of ours, my little brother, like everybody borrowed it. Like that costume lived for like a decade. So love, love, love that.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Awesome. Cindy Severn Welsh Homestead. I love making decorations. I know, so much fun, right? Love, love, love. Ooh, Mary says I was Marvin the Martian once, also paper mache. Dave was Dave Putnam, serious 6'5" former police officer / mystery writer. Dave was Princess Leia. This is very Dave. So we're both cross dressing. Dave's hair was overcooked cinnamon rolls. Okay, I'm gonna need a picture of this, Mary. You're gonna have to produce that. What? No. Hello, cool gamer. We are super glad to see you today. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and do our intros really fast as people are just sort of filtering in. And while we are doing that, if you guys could let us know in the chat what you are going to be working on today. I'm dying to know. Is everybody trying to like cram out their like goals for the year, try and get it done? I feel like I know what Mary's working on today. Robert, tell us a little about you and your awesome channel before we go much further.
Well, my awesome channel is The Story Detective, where I take various forms of storytelling based on my sequential art when I worked at Marvel Comics, writing, and anything else that can pertain to writing a novel and put it under a Sherlockian microscope and break down the craft for the viewer. and I have new videos that I'm going to be lining up, and the channel is going to be rebooted by spring. So
Yay! I'm excited. I'm glad we have like a target time now. That's fantastic.
yeah,
Very, very nice. Very blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much for being here today, Robert. As always, we're not sure where Michelle is. As you guys know, she's traveling across the world in a van. Well, just the U.S., but she's traveling across the world doing the van life thing, and we think she's going to be here today, but we're not sure. So it always depends on where she is and how good the internet access is.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Lisa Daly. If you are new here today, which most everybody is, everybody here today are people that we already know. But if you're new, I'm a traditionally published and indie published author, which makes me a hybrid. And I write contemporary romance and nonfiction writing and dating advice. So I don't really write dating books anymore, but nonfiction writing advice. All right. So, okay. So Mary, I don't know idea why I said Michelle. Mary has some work. That's day job work, and also Tricked is the book that Barry is working on. It's a memoir, and it is absolutely fantastic. Blue Garden is making Christmas presents for the grandkids, but nothing writing wise until January. I have like a ton of stuff I'm trying to finish this week, but I will be winding down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Lasanda says, "Yay, Robert! I can't wait." I feel like Robert could draw his own Sherlockian microscope or magnifying glass.
Add that to my video intro somehow.
Yeah, right. I think that is a fabulous idea. All right, guys. So Mary's working on Tricked. What are you going to be working on, Robert?
I'm still working on my little horror novella that I started in October, which is almost finished, but I'm not doing that much this month either. So I've only got, 3,000 words to finish this up. So it'll be close to finished today.
That's good. All right, fantastic. I am trying to make the first deadline of my ghostwriting project, and I'm really close. I should finish today, not in the stream, but I will finish later today. So that's a good thing. Ooh, Lainey says, I have a work in progress, a super secret shared world project. I love that. For anybody who's new, shared world project, at least as I'm thinking Lainey is probably doing it, is either when you do sort of a mashup, it's like a crossover. Like, remember when I can remember. Remember there's two cop shows, the one with Richard Belzer. I think they match. You have like a storyline where guest stars would like be on each other's shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially the same thing when you have a shared world project, right? So Lainey's got her world, somebody else has got their world, and they do some sort of a project where they bring those people, characters, worlds together.
Those are fun.
Those are fun. Tell us if I come anywhere close. It could be two of Lainey's books and doing a shared world too, which is also really smart, because then if you can bring people into the shared world, then it's almost like a series start. It can be like a series starter for two different series, which is kind of cool. Lasanda, revisiting outline for my fake dating book. I'm 9K into the draft and I need to make some changes. Good for you. I too will be resuming work on my second book in the hockey romance series, which is also actually it's fake fiance series or fake fiance book, and I love it. That is my favorite romance trope, is fake dating, fake fiance. Devin's working on book 4 of a 7-book series, then having to leave early to take my mom to the doctor. Oh, you're so good. Fake dating book. Oh, Mary lives in mystery world. Ready? Okay, so fake dating is where or fake fiance is where you enlist someone to be your fake boyfriend or fake fiance for some purpose. Usually both characters need something. Maybe one character has a lot of money but needs a fiance to, I don't know, impress his board of directors. And the other person has $50,000 in student loans and a free Friday night. And so those people will make a deal. And of course, in a fake dating or fake fiance romance, what happens is, in the process of pretending to be in a relationship, they actually fall in love. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. All right. Oh, I love this. Okay, so 5 of us, Lainey will love this project. 5 of us writing a series of interconnected standalones. So I love this idea. We were literally just talking. Was it last week? It might not even been here. I was just talking with somebody last week about the 39 Clues series for kids, where Rick Riordan had outlined the entire series, which I think is 10 books. And he wrote the first one and one of like the middle ones, sort of established the character voices and all that. But they got all these different authors to write. Now it was always the same characters, but it was sort of, different adventures in each book. And they got all these different authors to write them. It was a huge success. And they were able to do something that was absolutely fantastic at the time in traditional publishing, really unusual, which is that they would release a new one every 2 months. This is how my son learned that new books are released on Tuesdays because he would keep a calendar. We had to go to the bookstore. All right. Lysandra says my first one. RC's like, yeah, hello. Mary's like, oh, that kind of fake dating. It's not like an imaginary here's how to date book, but that would also be fun. Okay. Yes, right. Love. I feel ya. You know what's funny is romance authors often talk in this like shorthand that we all know and expect that other people know. So my apologies on that. Yeah, right. I really love this idea, Lainey. I think it's absolutely fantastic. RC is working on loading a truck full of staging equipment, trying to not get run over by an idiot forklift driver.
That would really end your year on a flat note.
Ah! Okay, well, there is no way we are getting any better than that. So let's take our wins where we can find them, and we are going to do our first 5-minute warm-up sprint. Let's get the party going here. What did you say you're working on, Robert? I feel bad if I already asked you.
Yeah, it's my horror novella that's close to being finished.
Right. Okay, fantastic. And I'm working on the Ghost Project, and we are all ready to get rolling. Okay, guys, we are going to start with our first 5-minute warm-up sprint. You can get your document out, get your healthy protein shake or your water or whatever else you need to get yourself through the morning. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Here we go. We're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's sprint. All right, we are back. How did everybody do with that 5-minute warm up sprint? I basically just drank. Oh, it's going again. Hold on. It's just like the 20 minutes, like, yes, let's go. It's time. Love this. So Lasanda is also doing a collab with 7 other authors, standalones in a shared world. I love this idea. It's such a good idea to do these kinds of projects with other authors because it can really help you to expand your audience and find new readers. That's pretty cool. Love that. All right. Blue Garden was worried. You got it. You're cool. Diane is here. Hello. We are super glad to see you today. Swinton, what? You know what you're getting. Swinton published my first book, ebook and print, on Amazon this week. Started wide on Drafted Digital, waiting on the print proof. They're very slow. Formatted on Atticus, and I love it. Do you know what's coming? You've got it. You've earned it. You deserve it. We're so excited. That is awesome, Swinton. I am so proud of you. That is fantastic. So be sure to let us know as soon as the book is live, and we will be sure to drop a link. Congratulations. That's why we're all here, right? Write the book. Love that. Fantastic. Cool Gamers here. Hello. Lainey, also first shared world so far. It's fun. I love this, Lasanda. Releasing a week apart. Very nice, you guys. love that. So, I am one of my clients. I'll just do a premise here. So, one of my clients is an author who's like this big 7-figure author named Renee Rose, and I helped her coach her writing her nonfiction book, and she has a Facebook group called, I think it's called Money Magic now, but it used to be called Right to Riches. And it is Money Magic. I'm going to drop a link. But she talks a lot about abundance for authors. And it is such a positive and sort of inspiring group. And every once in a while, she sends out an email to sort of have you think about something. And the thing that she sent out today was about choosing a word to represent your goals and sort of what you want out of life for 2024. And I've been thinking about it all morning, and I was like, God, I don't like, thinking about a bunch of different words. No, that doesn't work. I'm not sure about that, blah, blah, blah. And I have not come up with my word yet, but I wanted to know what you guys thought about that. I think there's like real power in sort of thinking about what you want and writing it down. And I mean, that is definitely the way that we achieve our goals. So I don't know. Have any of you ever done that? And would you do it again? And if you did, what would your word be? So there you go. Let's see. Diane is going to be working on editing today. Aw, so sweet. Avi's here. My birthday's Friday, so I'm celebrating all week. What? Yay. Happy birthday, Avi. We'll have to sing to you before we go today. That is fantastic. We are super glad you're here today. So, Robert, how about you? Have you ever done that? Picked a word of the year?
No. Not really. But it sounds fun.
It does. Sarah and Renee are friends, so that makes perfect sense. In fact, I think she's in that group. There's you have the Money Magic group, which is just like a free Facebook group, and then she also does these like monthly calls, and I think Sarah's on there. Like I believe I've seen her on there, but I know that they're friends, so this is not a surprise to me at all. And there is definitely, I mean, this is one of the things that I noticed when I started working with all these 7-figure authors, is that they believe very strongly in setting their intentions and manifesting what it is that they want. And I don't know if that's because that's the way to make it go, or which I believe it is. But
yeah, you should definitely set your intentions. That's a big part of everything we do. We forget as creators that plans that we make for our creative process also is a part of our lives. And
right.
if you set that intention and you make a plan in your brain, subconsciously you will put together pieces to complete
Yeah,
that plan. But if you
right.
don't have an idea where you're going, then you're all over the road and it's not as cohesive.
I think that there is something so true about that. I certainly have found that in my own life. I remember it being in college, taking a class in interpersonal communications, which at the time was like one of those classes everybody in the communications department had to take, and nobody was particularly excited about it. It was just one of those classes. But there are two things that I remember, and I don't know how much I really remember from my other classes, but there were two things that I very distinctly remember from that class. The first one was this statement that we did like a whole paper on, that the reason that most people fail to achieve their goals is because they never set them in the first place, which was like, and I have always been a real goal setter. Like, I'm very specific about, this is what I want to accomplish this year. This is this, this is this. And, but that was really profound for me. And then the other one is sort of only tangentially related, which is make your butterflies fly in formation. Meaning when you're nervous about something, proceed anyway. But butterflies are like in your stomach.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And, I've kind of proved that to myself this past year because I've had a more productive year in 2023 than I've had last year and possibly the year before, because I was kind of going all over the road for a while and life was getting in the way. And I did a lot of reading about this sort of thing. And I started getting up in the morning and making a plan for my day. And I would write down
Hmm.
everything I wanted to accomplish. And I didn't hold myself so rigid that it couldn't be moved. But once I wrote down in the morning, I found that I was ticking off those things. And if I wrote down like 9 things, I would be able to, at the end of the day, see that I completed 8 of them.
Right.
Whereas the previous year, I could plan to do 9 things and I'd barely get 2 or 3 done. So it does work.
That's true. We actually talked about this after the stream last week. And I it's funny because I too make a to-do list, and I started making mine in the morning. I used to make it at night, and I started making mine in the morning because we had that conversation. So this last couple of days I have been making it in the morning. But and I have found it to be about the same as far as whether or not I get things done, whether I make it at night or in the morning. But one of the things that I had said to you was that I used to always have like a running to-do list that I would continually add things onto the bottom. It was like this never ending to-do list where I
Mhm.
constantly was adding. And then when I ran out of paper, I would, flip to the next page and keep going, but always adding to the end. And I felt so much stress because my to-do list was never done. I could never take a break. And I can't remember where I read this, but I did. It was not my original idea, but I do not remember where it came from. Whatever I read was that you should only make your to-do list as long as what you can accomplish in that day. So instead of making one giant list where I constantly feel stressed out, I make
Mhm.
a list for Monday and a list for Tuesday. And if my Monday list is getting too big, okay, I'm going to put this on the Wednesday list. And what happens is at the end of the day, I've checked off almost every day now. I check off everything that's on my list. And certainly there are some days where I don't get to quite everything, but now I feel like I've accomplished something at the end of the day. And I still have the same amount of work to do on all my various projects, but it feels different. And it doesn't feel like the pressure and the stress of it does not feel so overwhelming. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't feel as stressed
know.
either. And the thing is, and the reason I've kind of fallen on my face is I dealt with monthly deadlines for years. And my
Right.
plan was not so much to write a thing out. I was more like make the plan, execute the plan. But I had that deadline of the gun to my head and I was constantly going. But
Right.
then after doing it for years and you stop, you kind of fall on your face. And then trying to do it again, you're just like rebelling against the idea of stepping back into that role. So
Yeah.
you have to find a different way and relieve those pressures and those self-imposed things where it's a have to. It's more like it should be fun and you should enjoy it. And you need to find, or I needed to find a way to enjoy it again. And then I started completing those goals and moving forward.
Mm. That's like such a great strategy. Mary says she took a leadership class, which was to come up with a personal mission statement. I boiled it down to 2 words: share aloha. Oh, I love that. Love that. Mary, very nice. Oh, Mary's word of the year is create. This year it was healing, and I believe it was pretty effective. Good for you.
I think I'm going
Love,
to
love.
mention abundance because I do want to start. I feel like this past year has been setting everything up, and this year it's moving things forward and
Mm-hmm.
reaping that abundance on several levels.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Very nice. Okay, so Blue Garden Cottage does planning and self assessment between Christmas and New Year's. Excited to get to it. I'm such a planner nerd.
Mm.
I love that process of like figuring out what you're going to do for your year. I ordered my new planner like months ago. I'm a super nerd. Diane, I had no idea about that. Love, love, love Sarah. So you probably know. Do you know she's in Renee Rose's monthly mindset calls? I don't know why. It's not like it's anybody's. Never mind. Forget I asked. I think she is, though. I really think she is. Avi says, I do 2 words because I'm extra. Yeah, you are. This year, my was gratitude and self care. Next year is creativity and courage. 2024 is going to be my year. You
Yeah,
know what? That is absolutely true. It is definitely going to be your year. Love,
gratitude is important. I mean, they say it in all of these things, that you hear about the law of attraction and gratitude, but they don't really explain how these things are done. But when I was working and things were falling into place really well is when I was excited about my work and enjoying it,
right,
feeling good about it. And I
right.
think that's the aspect of gratitude. It's just an aspect of, I guess, love for a, lack of a better phrase. You're just enjoying what you're doing and you're
Passion,
feeling that the passion, the vitality.
passion.
That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Passion is what I'm deciding now. I'm like, I literally just started thinking about it this morning. So I do not know what my word is yet, but passion is one of them because I feel like that encompasses so many things, and that's how you want to feel, right? Every day you just want to be excited and feel
Yeah.
passionate about what it is you're doing. We can all use more kissing in our lives. There's passion in my books, like all kinds of stuff like that. So I feel like that's kind of a good word. The other word that I'm sort of looking at is bliss, and kind of thinking about all of the things that make me happy and incorporating more of those things back into my life. This year has been a big improvement over last year, and I have big plans and feel really good about 2024. So I'm excited about
Yeah.
that. Oh, Abby says hi to Odin. Oh my gosh. What last week, I think it was after the stream ended. And I'm trying to remember who it was. Who was it that was saying? I think it was RC. Was it RC talking about Odin's Day? And I was like, is there a day for Odin? It's Wednesday. After, and then Mike's like, yeah, Odin's Day is Wednesday, Thor's Day is Thursday. And I'm like, oh, what? Of course I knew that. My brain was in a different place. But anyway, so yeah, anyway. Ooh, I love this. Vitality. Swinton's word is vitality. Love, love, love that. Yes, right. I know for a fellow planner nerd, I think working with Sarah would be absolutely delightful. Also, if you guys have ever met her in person, there is something so just peaceful and loving about her energy. I just like just to be in the same room with her is like a salve for the soul. She's just like one of those people that just exudes good energy. Yep. Implementation. Love, love, love that. Well, speaking of getting some goals done, how about doing some writing? All right, here we go, guys. Let me go ahead and put this up. Sorry, I'm kind of a dork today. I have been like in like super work mode the last couple days, which has been great because I've gotten a ton done, but also I'm maybe a little bit punchy. So just forgive me right now if you don't mind. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and do our first 20-minute sprint of the day. We are going to get rolling in 3, 2, 1. Let's cha-cha. Sorry, guys, I stopped it too early. I meant to unmute and I killed the whole thing. So we're back. Do. All right. How'd you guys do on that last sprint? Let us know in the chat how everybody did. Let me get rid of this banner. How'd you do, Robert?
I did really well. I got through several pages of editing, so it's moving along.
That's good. I have a chapter that I'm editing for a client, and it's quite complex and big. And I literally, so this is kind of an interesting thing. Sometimes if you feel overwhelmed with your editing, it can really help to print the pages rather than trying to edit on a screen, especially if you require a lot of reorganization, which is not so much in fiction, I find, but in nonfiction, a lot of times it makes more sense to organize things differently. So I had to print out. I'm not sure what it's big. This is like one chapter, and I don't know how many pages. It's a lot though. It's like 15 page. It's long. It's complex, and it's like this. So I'm going to try and make better. All right. So how'd you do on that last one? Did I ask you that already?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
I did pretty well.
Yay.
So
that's fantastic. How about you guys in the chat? Let us know how you did with our last sprint. So the idea of planning for your 2024, I think somebody mentioned earlier. Hold on, where was it? They planned during the week between Christmas and New Year's, which I think is I think sometimes it's good because a lot of times you're sort of relaxed. Although I do like to take that like end of the year time as a break. Speaking of which, we are done for the year after this sprint, and then we will return on January 3rd. So we are going to be spending the holidays with our families. So this will be our last sprint or not last sprint, but our last live stream in December for that. So I'm sorry, I had to pull this up when we were talking about the forklift, Mary. If you missed it, that was pretty funny and also too much fun to do this. Mary says, I printed out some planner pages for my writing home planner right now using an old big happy planner on my desk and a B6 TN. I don't know what TN is for on the go. Love that though. That's fantastic. Good job. I used to do a planner stream. Carol and I did the Boozy Plannerama every year. And I don't know if I don't think I'm going to be doing a Plannerama. I might do one in January, but I don't think I'm going to be doing a Plannerama this year. But I am definitely going to be just sort of laying everything out. I think that I love the Boozy Planneramas, but a lot of times what would happen is that I would just do a lot of chit chatting and drinking and less planning than I'd hoped for. So but I'm going to try very hard not to work during the holidays because I really do like want that like break.
yeah, that's why I'm working less this month. Last month I took the entire December off, and it helped so much to gear up for January that I just hit the ground running. And I really think it helped me establish better habits for the past year. So December I'm doing very little in terms of writing, but
Yeah.
I'd like to finish this book, but it'll be almost done, if not done by the end of the year.
Good for you. I know I am torn between having projects that I want to finish up, and obviously I have some client work that I need to finish up. And so obviously I'll be doing that, but I am definitely going to be taking the last 2 weeks off just because I've had an insanely busy year and I need that mental break. If you keep running and running and running without giving yourself a chance to pause and enjoy your life a little bit, then then you end up being less productive. Like if you have a chance to rest. I think I told you guys this before. I had gone to a rapid resolution therapist, aka a trauma therapist, a while back, and one of the things that he told me to do was take off, like take 3 days off where I didn't do anything. I wasn't responsible for anyone. Which is hard when you have kids, but thank goodness my mother was there and she was completely down with the plan because I was just like so overloaded. I was pretty close to having like a nervous breakdown in the middle of traffic somewhere. And so he had said to take off 3 days and do nothing. And he said the reason it has to be 3 days is that your brain does not start to rest until the third day, which is why when you have a regular weekend, it doesn't really feel like that big of a break, but a 3-day weekend feels like a little mini vacation. And it's because normally we've got that 2 days off, and then right as the next day, which is when our brains would start to like, oh, okay, I can deal with the stress, then we're back to work. And so we're in this continuous cycle. And I think that's probably, I mean, I have a theory. Certainly has not been proven out, but there's been a lot of research lately about how a 4-day work week is actually more productive for a lot of people than a 5-day work week. And my little theory is that this is why that you get more relaxation if you have those 3 days off to relax, and that you end up being a lot more productive during the 4 days when you're working.
Yeah, it's something I might actually give a shot because, like I said, taking the month of December, I've realized that when you're not working and you do get into that relaxed mode, then you start thinking about what you want to do and you start getting encouraged, and that passion starts to build. So you can't wait to get back to it.
Right. That's exactly it. So I too am thinking about, experimenting next year with a 4-day work week. So typically I used to take Friday, like half of Friday off, because I would do the daytime show in the morning. And then I would always go have lunch with a friend, my friend Abby, who's a fellow author. We had lunch for years after the show. And then Mike once Abby moved away, the Horror Geek and I would start having lunch after the show. But I stopped doing the show, mid-pandemic, and so I don't have that anymore. And so what happens now is I have meetings on Friday and I work, and so I'm trying to figure out how could I make that go. So what do you guys think about this? Would you ever put your writing schedule on a 4-day week? Because I'm really seriously considering restructuring my business for next year that way. And I'm there's part of me that's like, I can't give up a day. I need to work. I've got all these books I want to write. And then there's another, and I've got clients to do their projects, and I've got this and this and this and a million things, and family and a million other things. And then there's part of me that thinks that's exactly why I need to do it. So
yeah, we kind of have to try to do new things because we get so caught up in a habit and we believe that's the only way to do it. And eventually the habit starts grinding to a halt because you need that change to keep things fresh. And the minds don't really work that way. At least mine.
No, for sure. I can do some very intense time for a couple of for a week or a couple of weeks. But after that, certainly I need to break it up with other tasks that are not so mentally challenging. Creating whole other worlds and humans is pretty taxing on your brain.
Yeah.
And so or thinking about things in a way that where you can deliver them to other people in a way that they'll understand, or any of the other kind of brain heavy work that we do. And I don't have enough busy work in my life that I that I can have those breaks. So I'm kind of curious. Oh, this is interesting. All right. So Lasanda works for me. I can't write every day. Lasanda, do you do a 4-day work week, or do you just sort of break your writing into more writing in fewer days?
Or just have a day job that is demanding because they make your schedule so it's not your own.
Right. That can be a challenge too. Although a lot of companies are experimenting with this because there's been some success. I just read a newspaper article about a company that had agreed to try, some organization had convinced a bunch of companies to try it for 3 months. And a lot of the companies that tried it for 3 months thought, okay, I'll just do this experiment. and then we'll go back to our old way. But they have figured out that that it was more efficient for them, that people actually were more productive or as productive working only 4 days a week. What a
Yeah.
great thing to be an employer too. Wouldn't you feel like employer of the year if you figure this out? You're like, I can be the good person, the good boss, and give my people 3 days off every week, and still everybody still gets the work.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much that, companies could do differently. I was reading
Yeah.
a book last year where um, some people, again, were trying to encourage people to not crack the whip and actually make their employees' life something that's a bit more enjoyable, and not
Right.
have their boss have a reputation for being a complete asshole. And it actually, the people that were doing it said they were more productive. They
Yeah.
actually gave them a little bit more time to take a break in the afternoon if they were tired, because coming back and trying to push through when you're tired, you get less work done. There were a lot of
Mhm.
interesting things in there. And I'm like, yes, all of
Yes.
this should be working, but they don't
Yeah.
implement these things. It's just like more, more, more. More is more.
Right. Right. More is more. 5 days on, 2 days off, or 4 days on, 3 days off. Love that. I think I want 4 days on, three
Yeah.
days off. But that's Lasanda's writing schedule. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And
I
that
think it's smart. You're ahead
yeah.
of the pack there.
Yeah, you really are. We know that. Of course she is. She's
Uh,
ahead of the pack. She's a leader. That's why she's here. Daisy does has been on 4 day week for almost 20 years. Look at you go.
nice.
Of course, I also work 10-hour days. I think it's okay. I frequently work 10-hour days. I'm
Yeah.
just wiped out by the end of it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I don't think I feel like by the end of the week I often have sort of an energy drain where I still have stuff I have to accomplish, but my brain is like, running at
Mhm.
65%.
I
And
used to
so,
work 12 to 15 hours a day, and that's
right.
partly why I fell on my face when I stopped, because it was such a grueling schedule that once you stop, you're like, how did I ever manage it?
This is true. So this was true when I worked in advertising. I worked for a creative shop. We were very competitive, and I worked like regularly worked 15-hour days. And the thing is, I loved it. I loved all the people I worked with. I was young, so I had all this energy, which I spent on selling people stuff. Apparently, because that is how I spent my 20s. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I think about that. All right. So Mary says I used to do 980, I think they called it 9-hour days with every other week, a 3-day weekend. It was awesome. I like that. That seems like another good thing.
Yeah.
And also, I think if you're really passionate about something, it doesn't bother you as much to work really long hour. Like the time sort of goes by. Like if I am
Yeah.
deep in a book, I don't think, oh, I've got to clock 16 hours on this today. But I've certainly had plenty of times where I've been completely in the zone with writing, and you wake up or you like look up from your computer and it's 7:45 at night. You haven't eaten dinner. You just like emerged from this world you've created. And that is the best feeling in the world when you're so engaged in your own world, you don't even notice anything else that's going on.
It is. It's nice.
And I would like to achieve more of that in my life. So, yeah. Love, love, love that. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and do another sprint. Let me get this rolling. All right, here we go. So, we are going to start right now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's cha cha. All right. This time I did not cut us off when we were done, so I'm very excited about that. Very nice. Oh, I just started the thing over again. You'd think after all these years I'd have a better thing. So I put up a question while we were sprinting. What's the one thing you're going to try to do differently in 2024? That's our question. Robert, think of you can think. I see some comments, so let's see what we've got here. Let me pull this down. The one thing you're going to do differently in 2024. Cha-cha. Yes. Devin, thanks so much for being here. We are super happy to see you, and we'll see you back here on January 3rd. Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. We really appreciate that. Applications for the AuthorTube Writing Conference close this Friday. If you publish content about writing and publishing on YouTube, you're qualified to apply. Ooh, all right, fantastic. Where should we do? Oh, I was just going to ask the question. Look at that. You can find applications and more information here. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Shannon says, better self-care in 2024. That's the one thing, at least one thing. You could do many things differently, but that's the thing she's going to focus on. Very nice. Lasanda, I'm going to try to get my writing done early in the morning. Good for you. I have switched more to morning writing because I used to be a lot more prolific in the afternoon. For whatever reason now, it's changed. So I often get better writing done first thing in the morning. So, all right. I'm glad to hear. I want to know from the rest of you guys, what are you going to do that's different in 2024? So for me, we just talked about it. I'm going to try a 4-day work week and see how that goes. How about you, Robert? What are you going to do?
I think mainly for me is not to hold too rigid to a schedule or my past habits. I need to be more fluid with things and just roll with it and try different things. I used to do that. Every manuscript I came at with a slightly different attitude, slightly different methodology, and I experimented. And I think I've been too rigid in, doing the same thing. So changing things up a bit.
All right. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to make this into a regular like banner so we can have it up while we're talking. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So, all right. So I like that a lot. All right, Mary, finish stuff. That is an excellent goal. I find that when I have too many projects that I'm not finishing, it's because I have either fallen victim to shiny object syndrome, aka known as, oh, there's a squirrel. And so there's that. Or if I just have too much, actually, it's funny that we were talking about Sarah Cannon today because she gave a great talk at Romance Author Mastermind, which is Skye Warren's big conference a year and a half ago, or a year ago, I guess. And one of the things she said was that we look at our quarter, and I think she says this in her videos a lot too. We look at our quarter and we think, oh, I have 12 weeks to finish this. So I'm going to write a book and I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to do that. Like it's the same 12 weeks, but we're just thinking that we can, make time and make the clock disappear or bend it to our will, which I am very guilty about taking on a lot, like not estimating well how much time a project is going to take. I would say this is my biggest struggle. It's something I've worked on for years and have tried to sort of quantify by paying attention. How long does it take me to write a book? How many words can I count on in a day? This just to do that. But that is like my biggest challenge. I have no concept of time. In any area of my life, I have no concept of time. So Lysandra says, Sarah is great. I'm sorry. I always want to put an R in your name. I have no idea why. Swinton, I like editing in the morning and writing at night. 2024 healthy habits for body, mind, and soul. I love that. That is fantastic. That is absolutely delightful. I love it. I know we usually answer questions. I feel more like this is like a good, like, let's project into. If anybody has a question, obviously we're happy to talk things through, but we have a more experienced group on here today than we've had in the last few weeks. And so if anybody has a question that they want to ask, we will absolutely dive into it. But I feel like just sort of thinking about what we're going to be doing. Is there anything, let's do the converse of this. Is there anything, and did I say that right? That's one of those words where you like, you read it, it's converse, right? The opposite is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Okay.
Conversely is opposite.
Right. I know that's like the meaning of the word, but it's like one of those where I'm like, do I ever say that word out loud? And is that correct? This is the thing with readers. We often, like people who read a lot, often have a vocabulary that's they have a like a mental vocabulary that's bigger than their sort of verbal vocabulary, that they know the meaning and understand the context of a lot more words than they've ever pronounced in their lives. Anyway, okay, opposite of that, what is one thing you're going to try to do differently in 2024? Is there anything you are going to stop doing in 2024? Let's see about that. I know, right? I'm kind of thinking about it. We're gonna let's answer that one when we come back. We've got 25 minutes, so we're gonna cram in one more 20-minute sprint. And the question we're going to talk about when we get back, and I do not know what my answer is for this yet. What is the one thing you're going to stop doing in 2024? Oh, Sonda's got a good one, smoking. Yay! You know what you get for that? Because stopping smoking is hard. It's really, really hard. So I am super proud of you that you're going to do that this year. And here we go. Get more than that, not just like the 2 seconds. Okay, let's go back. We are going to do our last 20-minute sprint of the day. Let me just pop that up on the screen here. All right, here we go. Okay, last 20 minutes sprint of the day. We're going to make this one count. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the one thing that's not serving us that we are going to be giving up or quitting. I don't want to say giving up because that means like that sort of implies that you're sacrificing something, and we're not. We're going to get rid of one thing that is not serving us. What is that one thing for you? All right, here we go, everybody. Last sprint, make it count. 3, 2, 1. Let's cha-cha. All right, we are back. Okay, so we previously talked about what your word of the year was for 2024, and our last question is, what are you going to give up for 2024? What's the one thing you're going to try to stop doing in 2024 because it no longer serves you? Do you have an answer?
I guess I am just not going to be worried about things in general. I'm just going to move forward and try to enjoy the process. And I think that would be a huge step in getting out of my own way, rather.
So you're taking the don't worry, be happy approach for
Yes.
2024. I love it. I absolutely love it. I have decided I'm giving up guilt. I always have a lot of guilt. I work with a lot of other authors, and even though that there are sometimes, not sometimes, there are always, as anybody here knows in publishing, there are always 5 million factors at play, and you cannot ever control all of them. But
Mhm.
I often feel responsible for not being able to control all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let that go. That and some other, like, anyway, guilt.
It's
That's
kind
what I'm
of it.
giving up. Yeah, I'm
Between the
giving up guilt.
creative process and life. I guess it does breed a sort of guilt, or
Hmm.
as I like to think of it, a bit of a time trap, because things just sort of
Right.
bounce around and we become hectic in that, because I think we're used to deadlines and we have that mentality that when things start going a little haywire, we get
Right.
panicky or guilty.
Right.
It's
Right.
the gun to the head syndrome.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think that's completely true. Jen writes, Romance says, my answer to question 2 is not to worry about what people think that aren't a major part of my life and add negativity to it. I need to be selfish, kind of.
Mhm.
Eliminating those like energy vampires from your life is not selfish. It's self-preservation. Uh,
Yes.
so go you, Jen. I feel like big things are going to happen to you. Let's see. Oh, good. Shannon's got writing stream scheduled for January. I'm going on a 1 month long staycation, January 16th to January 14th. Well, I am super excited for you about that. That is awesome. We're taking a little staycation here as well.
Yeah.
Um, for you guys who came in a little bit later today, this is going to be our last live stream for December, but we will be back on January 3rd, which is our regular Wednesday time.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that, taking that time off at the end of the year to rejuvenate and revitalize our passion. I did it last
Yes.
year and definitely plan to make it an annual thing because, it works very well, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yay, Heather. That's great. Congratulations. Awesome. So true. So true, you guys. All right. Daisy says, I'm going to try not to take my YouTube channels too seriously. Such a time sink. Yes. And
Yeah.
it's not like I have a big channel. I know. I love it when I do it, but that is the thing that gets pushed to the back burner a lot for me. So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really do love it. And I do have plans to do more videos, um, but I think the live stream is like a great way to sort of stay connected and all of that.
For a while, my YouTube channel became like the main thing I was doing. And that's why
Right.
I haven't done it lately, just because it was such a huge time suck.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was stumbling over my past deadlines and my productivity,
Right.
YouTube gave me a deadline and I just sort of fell right into line with that. And then when
Right.
I stopped, they demonetized me and I got so pissed off. I'm just like,
I know. I feel you. I feel you, Robert. I mean, that's part of the reason why we're like, oh, well, we can add Robert's channel to the stream too, and that way you can at least get some watch time off the weekly
yeah.
live stream that you show up for every week. I know this was my big challenge too with doing as many YouTube videos as I started with. Even though I would like to come back to it a little bit and do more this year than I did, or do more in 2024 than I did this year. But part of it was just that I realized I was spending so much time on YouTube and some other activities that I wasn't writing very much. And that always has to be my primary, priority, is to make sure that I'm getting the things done that I really want to and
Yeah.
need to get.
And
Yeah.
also getting back to my YouTube channel this spring, I am not going to follow YouTube's schedule. It's going to be my own. It's probably not
Mhm.
going to be you know, a video a week or 2 videos per week. It might be like a video every other week or a couple of videos per month, and that's something I could probably handle.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just giving yourself a break on the stuff that's not, the most important to you frees up some time to do the things that are the most important to you. So
Yeah.
I love this. Can't remember if I put it up or not already. I had a boss who says just because they're serving up guilt pie doesn't mean you have to eat a slice, right? That's gonna be I'm gonna
Yeah.
print that out and put it on my wall this year. So, well, I heard from Michelle, just so you guys know what happened. She was like, I'm so sorry. Long story short, they left the campsite. They were heading to a Starbucks to do the live stream, but they got stuck in a snowstorm and then a ditch.
Wow.
Good Lord. And now there are state troopers helping them get the van out. It's been quite a morning. Oh, no. She doesn't need to be sorry at all. I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
It's good that they have like their whole van. One, you like, because you assume that they have food and water in there as well. Like, that's one thing that happens sometimes when people get stuck in the snow.
That's an
Is that,
adventure, that's for sure.
yeah, that it takes a while to get found, and you don't necessarily like freeze, but you're hungry and cold and you can't get out. So yeah, anyway, well, I'm glad, I hope she's okay. Well, she said they had state troopers coming, so my guess is that they probably will be fine, and the fact that she
Mhm.
emailed me just now makes me think that she probably is. Now she has internet, they should be okay.
Yeah.
So whew, close one. The adventures of Michelle this year.
Yeah.
Oh my
Should
gosh.
do a vlog on that. It would be
I'm sure she is actually. Yeah, that should be her watchword for 2024 adventure. She's had a lot of it
Mhm.
this year. So anyway, all right, everybody, let's go ahead and do our outros really fast before we head out. Robert, tell the fine fellows, folks, friends here a little about you and your channel before we go.
Well, my channel is The Story Detective, and I take various forms of storytelling, including sequential art for my time at Marvel, writing, and whatever else pertains to the subject at hand, and break down the craft. Put it under my Sherlockian microscope, which will be a part of my new intro, by the way, in hopes of making your craft journey easier. There's a lot of videos on that channel that's pretty much evergreen that you can check out in terms of craft, and more stuff is coming by spring.
Yay! I'm super excited about that. I have no idea when there will be new content coming from my channel other than our weekly live streams, which will return on January 3rd, Wednesday at our normal time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. I hope you guys all have an amazing holiday. I am Lisa Daly. I'm a trad published, indie published author, aka a hybrid. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. You guys are amazing. I know you are all going to have fabulous holidays, or at least I hope you will. And I'm super excited to see what everybody does in 2024. All right, everybody, we'll see you next time.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody, and keep those keyboards clacking. Until